it's Claire and welcome to Needle Say More. So today I'm going to show you how to fix this raincoat with the kind of sewing kit you would get free in a hotel, because I appreciate that not everyone is going to have needles, threads, scissors, sewing machine, anything like that at home. So just with a little kit that you get from a hotel, how to fix this. Now you're probably thinking that looks fine, but if we just turn it over, you can see there's a big old hole in the neck. If we look from this side, there's a big old hole there, which is a shame because it's a really cute little raincoat, and it'll probably take us about 10 minutes to fix this up and then it'll be ready to wear again. Okay, so let's get started on repairing this raincoat. So it's actually my niece's and she loves playing outside and being outside. So it'd be great if we could get this fixed for her. So the first thing I'm going to do, you see this is the seam that's broken. I'm just going to try and pull out those threads so they're not going to get caught later on. And then here we go, and that'll just kind of close up that seam a little bit. If you can find both ends like this, it'd be great if you could tie them together. I know it can be really tight when there's not much space, but it'll just stop the seam opening any further. So I've just gone around on that twice. I can see I've got a long thread here. Can I find the other side of it? Oh yeah, there we go. So this is just going to stop it opening anymore, so I can literally just repair the bit that's broken. Well, this end is quite small, so it's a bit fiddly, but I should be able to pull it through. There we go. So I've just gone over those knots twice. Now if I open up the trusty sewing kit, see it's got a little pair of scissors, 2 little buttons, safety pin, 2 little pins and some threads. Now this is a bright yellow. I've got white, mustard, green, red, brown or black. So I'm going to have a look at the mustard and the white to see what's going to be best. Let's just use these little scissors to cut off any loose threads. There we go. I'm going to just put those to one side. And then normally in these, the needles are pre-threaded. So if I put that next to it, so that's the mustardy colour, or the white. I think the mustard's actually going to work better. So like I said before, these are pre-threaded needles. You haven't got to worry about threading them. And it comes like that, and it's kind of designed if you're on a business trip and a button came off your shirt, you'd just be able to sew the button on. So I'm just going to bring these 2 threads together and tie a knot at the end. So here's the end of the thread. So you just form a loop like that, and then just bring the tail back through, and then the loose threads at the end I'm just going to cut off, so you can see after my knot that's a nice and neat. So I'm going to start here. I'm just going to sew it from the outside. So I'm going to go through a little bit of the fabric there, and then I'm going to try and come out the holes that are already in it from where the previous seam is. So I'm just come through. My knot is just there at the bottom of the seam, so you won't see that. So I've come through that hole there, and then I'm going to do a little stitch here. Pull it through. And then I'm going to go through these holes that I can see from where it's been sewed before. Pull it through. And then now I can see that there's little holes on here as well, and this will kind of guide me and make it a little bit easier so I don't go off the seam line. Pull it through. Through these holes here, pull it through. You can see it's already starting to come together. And it's really important after you do each stitch to pull it nice and tight to secure it afterwards so you don't end up with any gaps. So a little stitch there, pull it through. I'm just going to keep on going all the way along till we get to the end. So here we are, I've gone all the way along the seam, and so it's all stitched together here, and then I'm to this point here, and there's nowhere left for me to sew. So I'm going to take the needle, and I'm going to go through to the inside. You can see there's still a little bit of a hole here, even though the back is totally together. And this is because it was probably sewn all as a layer, and then the lining was hand stitched up. So it would have been a triple layer, so we're going to have to do it in 2 stages, or unpick the lining, which is going to make it a much longer job. You can see here that this little tag for hanging it up, which is really handy, has come off. So when I'm about halfway across, I'm just going to hook that back in so it can be hung up. So I'm going to do exactly as I did before, a little stitch this side, a little stitch this side. If you find it easier so you can see where you're sewing, you can do little stitches either side, so it almost looks like a little ladder. I don't know if you can see that, so it looks like a little ladder. And then give it a pull. Bit in that's got a bit crease, and then it kind of comes together. So I'm going to pop the loop back in so it can be hung up, and I'm just going to sew this separately because it's quite thick and it might be hard to get it through all the layers in one go. There we go, so that's the loop back on, and don't worry about how that looks because we're going to hide that inside. So again, I'm going to do a stitch on this side, stitch on this side. Just make sure if you think you've gone quite deep through the material, you haven't come through on the back, so you don't want any loose stitches on the back. And pull these nice and tight, and that will pull the whole back together. Okay, and I've run out of places to stitch, so what I'm going to do now, just pull that loop in, I'm going to do a couple of stitches on top of themselves just to finish this off so it won't come unthreaded. So I'm going to go 1, see I'm just doing 2, 3 tiny little stitches just in here. If you've got any loops like that, if you give this a good tug, they should come. Use my little sewing cut scissors. So here we are, all reattached. You can't even see where that hole was before. So that little loop is now attached so it can be hung up. It's nice and strong. You can't really even see where the stitching is. If you look really closely, you might be able to see. Yeah, that's my little knot that I did. And if we turn it over onto the back, here's where I've stitched it. And again, because I followed the dots from where it had been sewn in the factory, you cannot see that at all, especially when the little one's wearing it and they've got the hood up and down. So this is ready for her to wear it on our next rainy day, which, because we live in England, shouldn't be too far away. If you've got any repairs that you're struggling to do, or you need any help with doing repairs such as this, please let me know in the comments.